Obsession has one of the worst protagonists I have seen in a horror movie in a long time. Now hold on, no, wait. Before you click off this video, let me explain. I don't mean that he's poorly written. No, he's actually written extremely well. His character has a great deal of depth to him, and he's far from being one-dimensional. No, I mean he is a really fucking awful person, man. I mean, God, somehow there are people out there that are sympathizing with Bear and saying that somehow he was the victim of the movie. But no way. That man is definitely the main villain of the entire movie. It's not Nikki, it's not the One-Wish Willow, it's not his best friend Ian, and frankly, I'm tired of people trying to act like Ian is on an equal level to Bear, and it's not the customer service dude who has Nikki's true body locked up somewhere. It's fucking Bear. So I'm gonna talk about all the shit he did and why we should hate him. Yet a part of us still kind of roots for him. Emphasis on part, because most of the time it is really fucking hard to support him. And I guess now would be a good time to say that there will be spoilers in this video. Oh my God. Man, where do I even begin? It's funny because when we first see Bear, we immediately are inclined to hope for the best for him because we see him practicing the best way to confess his feelings to Nikki. And though he's kind of funny, Ian seems like the main asshole we shouldn't trust since he seems to be leading Bear to make bad decisions. But oh so quickly does all that fly out the window. Now I've seen some people say that one of Bear's red flags was letting Nikki pay for the drinks. I think that's stupid. He offered to pay and she gave her card instead. Whatever. I'm not one of those guys that thinks men should step up and pay for everything all the time, so that isn't that crazy to me. I mean, what was he supposed to do? Snag the card from her or fight to pay instead? I mean, sure, maybe he could have tried that second thing and it would make him look less like a pushover, but I don't think him letting her pay inherently makes him a bad person. I mean, not yet, anyway. Would I have offered to pay more than once? Yeah, but point is, I'm not burying him for that, and if you are, that's kind of silly. Surely he could cover for other things in the future. Hell, he even went out to buy her a gift just because later on. Y'all are just being extra. No, the first time I really got mad at him was when Nikki point blank asked him if he liked her and he lied. Now, does this part make him a bad person? No, not yet, but it was here when I started to realize this guy was going to piss me the fuck off the whole movie. But his character was already established to be a pansy, so again, I didn't quite hate him yet. Just his choices. I even give him props for buying Nikki the One-Wish Willow. Him deciding not to get the little rock necklace thing and opting for something he thought would be funnier makes it feel like he thought about what she would actually like, especially from him. I still think him getting a necklace would have been way better, but I could at least appreciate the plan. But once he uses that thing on himself, he proceeds to be the absolute worst man I have ever had to follow. And this video isn't supposed to be super long, so let me just run through all the shit he did that makes him horrible, at least from what I remember since I don't have the movie in front of me. 1. He brings a clearly inebriated Nikki into his home after she so obviously was about to enter her own. Now, I have to give him a tiny pass here because she forced her way into his car and pressured him into leaving, and there is no way he should have assumed just yet that the wish worked and that is why she was acting so weird. And if any of you say you would have assumed that, you're lying. You're only saying that because you know the premise of the movie. If this was real life, you would not have jumped to fucking magic. But either way, she was acting strange, and he should have prioritized keeping her close to home, especially if she had never gone to his house before. It wouldn't make any sense to bring her now. Something is clearly wrong with her. The most he should have done is wait with her in that car or walk her back to her own house. I don't care if she pulled the dad dying thing, just don't take her to your place. And speaking of, 2, he lays with her in bed and proceeds to kiss her knowing she is fucked up. Now, I know she kissed him first. Fine, but she was clearly under the influence of something. And if what happened with her dad was to be believed, she was also severely upset and likely acting irrationally. No matter how you look at it, even if she made the move first, he was still the problem. He was supposed to be mature enough to chill out right there, make her back off. Sure, it might have hurt her in the moment, but it was the right thing to do. And all you men that think what he did here was straight are fucked up, dog. 3, he continues the relationship even after seeing clear signs that Nikki is not acting normal. And I'm not talking about before there are any clear signs for him that the wish caused this. I'm talking about the screaming and weird ass personality changes that happen early. Even if he wasn't sure that the wish was what was causing it, which he shouldn't yet, he should also realize that Nikki was not stable enough mentally to decide to be with him. Again, he is taking advantage of a situation he definitely shouldn't be. And speaking of taking advantage, I would be insane not to mention this. 4, he proceeds to fuck this woman who clearly is faking pleasure and isn't fucking moving during sex.
What the fuck?
Y'all, this was one of the most unsettling parts of the whole movie. I zipped past quite a few bad things he did, but this was a convenient place to mention this. Dude was literally engaging in non-consensual, consensual sex. By this point, he knew damn well the wish was what caused this, but he was so invested in laying pipe that he never took a moment to even look at the uninterested woman that he was putting his wood into. He was literally using her like a goddamn sex doll. And even if he just likes to fuck without looking, we can't give him a pass because, again, she wasn't fucking moving! Dude, you know what they call that shit, right, Bear? Right? Fuck! 5. He turns her face away from him in the middle of a movie in that one little scene. Okay, this one is a little petty to mention and minor compared to everything else, but I feel like it's worth talking about a little. I mean, he literally wished for her to be infatuated with him, and he pushed her away like she meant nothing when she did exactly what he wanted. Ungrateful as hell, and a clear indicator of why he's a bad person. 6. When the real Nikki begs him to kill her because she is not the one in control of her body, not only does he refuse to help, but he says, "What would be so bad about being with me?" Okay, there are still some things I want to mention, but this was the one thing that really pissed me off. The sex thing was a big one for sure, but this was the point where Bear truly could not be redeemed. This woman, crying and begging to be set free from the prison that he put her in, was denied help and asked the dumbest fucking question of all time. What does this have to do with anything? Bear, this woman, which she actually says was never with you. She never had the choice to be with you. You made the choice for her and forced her along the whole time. Hell, maybe in another timeline she would have loved being with you. Unlikely, but we'll never know because you both mentally and physically this woman. What would be so bad about being with you? Everything! Literally everything! I can't believe he had the audacity to say this after everything he put her through. God, I hate Bear! I cannot believe there are any men out there siding with him. 7. Right after this, he goes out in the middle of the night to meet the woman he knows is in love with him and gets her killed. His pretend girlfriend was beyond proven to be insane by this point, and her jealousy was shown to be pretty dangerous at a party that had just happened, by the way, so there was no reason he shouldn't have thought there may be consequences to seeing this woman like this. But no, Bear is stupid. And you could argue that Sarah probably shouldn't have been so adamant that he meet her in person like that, and you'd be sorta right, but realistically, Bear should have handled this whole situation a long time ago. This had escalated so badly, and he just put Sarah in danger, and she died for it. Oh shit, speaking of escalation. 8. When he realizes the wish worked and calls One Wish Willow, he immediately asks if it's possible to alter the wish, not reverse it. What the fuck? Nikki is clearly not herself, clearly stuck in there watching her own body be used by both another entity and Bear, and his first thought is to change the wish a little, not free her to let her make her own choices? He was that fucking selfish, that afraid of losing the woman that is only in love with him in fairy tale land. The man would rather stay with someone who can't make her own decisions and truly love him than give her up. Again, why are there any people on his side? How? Please, I need a 10-page explanation. Actually, no, I don't. The answer is simple. You're terrible people. That's it. 9. After he gets Sarah killed, he helps Nikki carry the body away without a second thought. This doesn't even need much explaining. This was just an awful thing to do all around. Straight up villain shit. Don't have to linger on this one too much. 10. At the end of the movie, Bear decides that the best course of action is to kill himself to end the wish, well after all the damage is done, leaving a finally free Nikki with all the problems that he caused. This is probably the worst thing that he does in the whole movie. He fucked this woman multiple times against her will, allowed her body to commit one of the most brutal murders of all time, then after all of that, he let her take control again. And it's been confirmed that Nikki is now in prison for everything that her possessed variant did. So his choice to finally free her was not an act of kindness or redemption. Like always, it was pure selfishness. He ruined her entire life. And speaking of redemption, 11. Even if we try to consider that suicide a redemption, he couldn't even do that right and tried to throw up the pills, forcing Nikki to stay buried away. The only reason he didn't puke those pills up is because Nikki wished for him to be in love with her and made him stop. That's it. His very last chance at quote-unquote redemption wasn't even successful because of him. This man's cowardly, idiotic, and selfish nature caused so many people around him problems, many of which ended in death. I mean, Jesus, his entire circle of friends is either in a hole or in the hole. All because of him! So yes, Bear is the main villain and one of the worst protagonists I've seen in a horror movie in a long time. And there are other things I haven't even mentioned that he did, but I could go on for so long, man. To all the people defending this man and calling him the victim, dog. He's the victim of his own stupidity and cowardice. That's all I'll give you. No one in this movie is nearly as awful as this man. But I do want to quickly talk about what I mentioned earlier, the part about how we kinda still root for him. But there's a huge emphasis on kinda. Personally, I just spent so much time hoping that he would redeem himself and do the right thing. And I really felt like maybe he would at some point because they made Bear such a clearly kind and innocent soul. He does a lot of heinous shit, yeah, but he's never like evil. That's the complicated thing about him. You want to hate him, and a lot of the time you do hate him, but you also have this constant feeling that he's not actually Satan's spawn. Like, he's a good guy doing really horrible things. And I feel like a lot of this really comes from how he is in the beginning of the movie. He seems like this innocent guy who just wants to tell the woman he loves how he feels. Yeah, that shit goes south real fast, but I think just enough was shown to us to hope for the best for everyone for quite some time throughout the film. But yeah, no, he's still pretty damn terrible, but not terribly written. Bear truly is one of the best, worst main characters in a horror movie.
Hopping on the beat, I'm feeling acrobatic. I don't gotta think the shit be automatic. On a different level in another bracket. Dropping bangers, I be hitting like a mallet. Doing backflips. Every track.